Hey everyone, my name is Noble Absinthe, and welcome back to my Samurai Jack Retrospective. Today we're on episode 20, Jack and the Monks. Let's get started. The episode starts off on a stormy night. Jack is trying to make his way to a time portal as he fights his way through some beetle bots. The same we've seen in episode 3. As Jack makes his way closer, one of the bots destroys the portal and the resulting explosion knocks Jack out till daybreak. Jack is understandably upset. Our hero is already on the edge. He feels that his quest to return home is impossible. Jack walks forward and his hat is caught up in the wind. He chases for a bit until he sees it in the possession of 3 strangers. 3 very tall strangers. These are our 3 monks. They very awkwardly return Jack's hat and then take their leave. These monks seem to be extremely stoic because they show absolutely no emotion. This seems initially foreboding because these men seem so out of place. Why are they so stoic? Why are they so apathetic? Anyway, Jack follows them and asks where these men are going, and one points to the mountain. They are aiming to make it to the summit of the mountain in search of truth. They tell Jack about a great power that resides at the summit, and our hero smiles. Maybe it's because he figures it to be another way home, or he just welcomes the challenge. We're never given a reason here. Jack decides to accompany the monks up the mountain, and they seem completely indifferent to him. He leads the way, and the 3 monks stay a good distance behind him. Again, something that I felt was a little weird. Anyway, the journey itself seems to wear on Jack a little bit, whereas the 3 monks are able to keep up without exerting any effort at all, it seems. Jack takes a short break to grab some water, while the monks grab some rocks. Our hero gets some exercise fighting against some goat men. After dehorning the first one, Jack is welcomed by his brothers. And, Jack, he just doesn't care. But it seems that our 3 monks grew impatient and went ahead without Jack. Our hero then gets attacked by a giant rock monster. The monks are again completely indifferent to him. The rock monster has Jack fall to his doom, and how does Jack respond? Well, he uses his sword berserk style to slow down his fall and uses the momentum to slingshot his way back up to the monster to kick him in the head so they both fall down. The rock monster then chooses to mash Jack's face against the rock, and this is something you would put in a screw attack death battle. Jack's face doesn't even scratch when being grinded against stone. Our hero then falls and he's without his sword. Jack takes care of the rock monster and uses his sheath and belt as a quick grappling hook and latches onto a tree. Jack reclaims his sword and realizes that the snow is starting to set in on the mountainside. Jack has to climb up snow, tough rock, and ice. The grandiose music playing is meant to convey this sense of danger of the climb. It's as if each move Jack makes could lead to his death. This is more intense than fighting, space kitties, right? Jack is then reunited with the 3 monks, and they appear to be eaten from some type of blue egg or blue rock. I don't know. And within an instant, the monks are gone. They just vanished without a trace. Now that the blizzard has set in, Jack doesn't know what direction to go. Jack is then face to face with a giant blue yeti, and he gets his ass kicked. He's pinned against the ground, and in a last-ditch effort, shouts at the top of his lungs to get a huge icicle to kill the giant. Or knock him out. This is Cartoon Network. Jack chooses to climb the mountain again, even in the cold, even when battered and beaten. But finally his strength gives out. He echoes the words from the beginning of this episode, stating that this is just impossible. As Jack falls unconscious, he has a dream of his enslaved family, and the monks are questioning his resolve. We see memories of his people erecting statues of Aku after they were defeated, and of his childhood when his land was prosperous. He also remembers Aku, and all of these memories are reasons as to why he continues to move forward. Jack awakes and gets right back to work. He climbs the mountain and through the pain, finally makes his way to the top. He thanks the monks and proclaims to Aku that he will make it back to the past and destroy him. God, this was a rock-solid episode. The beauty of the ending is that there was no real power at the summit of the mountain, but within the journey itself. Our hero started this journey doubting himself. He thought that his whole adventure was impossible. But after completing this climb, this seemingly impossible task, he achieved a newly strengthened resolve. I found this episode to be a perfect complement to episode 19. In that episode, we have Jack reliving his childhood. We see a few things that made him who he is today, like where he got his strength of will from and where he got his inspiration to be a samurai from. Now, in this episode, we have his strength of will tested, accompanied with flashbacks of key events to other things that made him who he is today. Episode 19 showed us the qualities that make Jack a good person and the things he misses. Episode 20 reminded us as to why Jack fights on against impossible odds. He fights to free his enslaved people, to return to his beautiful homeland, and to destroy the monster that caused all of this. I wanted to mention that I really liked the monks in this episode. Like I said before, they were extremely stoic. I couldn't shake the feeling that they were going to be relevant. And it's because they had some weird habits. For example, they wouldn't just give Jack his hat back, he had to pull it away from them. They wouldn't say much, and come to think of it, what did they even eat? Was it the Yeti egg? Point is, they were stoic and awkward. But at the end of the episode, they were talking the most sense. They shout at Jack, questioning his resolve. At the very end, when Jack makes it to the top, they are nowhere to be seen. This makes me question if they were even there to begin with. Jack's journey up the mountain was also incredible to me. It seemed like one of the biggest challenges for Jack was Mother Nature itself. Every little inch up the mountain felt like it was painful, and I can't even imagine how painful it must be to climb up ice and snow-covered rock barehanded. I feel like this episode could have had Jack just climbing up a mountain and it would have been amazing, but we did get some fights just to fill the quota. The Goatmen fight was sort of unneeded, and I much preferred his encounter with the rock monster and the Yeti. The rock monster was more of a symbol of his bad luck, an upper tier enemy that Jack had to finagle with to come out ahead. There was also some minor drama of him losing his sword, but that was quickly alleviated. The Yeti fight, however, represented, at least to me, Jack facing off against seemingly impossible odds. He was getting tossed around pretty hard and would have died if he didn't try to find another way. After he was beaten down, he found it even harder to climb the mountain. But like I mentioned before, he found the strength to do it. He made it to the top, and he knows the whole purpose of this journey. It was to find himself. Remember, Jack didn't really give a reason as to why he climbed the mountain. The monks only mentioned a great power at the top. No specifics. It could have been a time portal, a holy weapon, really anything. But the reward wasn't physical. The reward for making it to the top was clarity, and after he succeeds, he properly thanks the monks. Truly an amazing episode. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like my voice, please feel free to subscribe and tick that chime next to it to stay updated for future content. Likes and shares are always appreciated, and I do read every comment. Remember, you can always contact me on Twitch and Twitter for suggestions for future content. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.